Our first guest tonight is one of the most famous athletes in the world who's not only responsible for bringing Messi to this country, he brought the Spice Girls back together, too. His very entertaining docuseries, Beckham, is on Netflix now. Please welcome David Beckham. Is this a secret to your beauty? You put honey on your face?
It is.
This is your own honey, right?
It is our own honey, yeah.
You know what? We could have used you earlier today because, I don't know if you heard about this, but show this, we have a little video. We had a swarm of bees living under an umbrella outside. Did you know any of those guys?
Unfortunately not, but
those are not
I'm
your
happy
guys?
to take them back to London.
Yeah, sure, that'd be great on the plane. You own, for people who don't follow what we call soccer, you call football, sometimes we meet in the middle, you own the Miami Football Club. You're one of the owners of... How many owners are there? Mostly you?
There's three of us. There's myself and then two brothers, Jorge Mas and Jose Mas. So it's just the three of us.
Jorge and Jose own this team, and it has become... is it more successful than you thought it was going to be?
I always hoped that it would be this successful, and obviously bringing someone like Leo helps. So obviously that was always the plan, but you never know.
Like, are you aware of how popular he is? Like, I know in Miami, obviously, there's a lot of people there, but like my son, who's 7 years old, who has never watched one moment of football, he couldn't pick Messi out of a lineup, yet he's got he's got all the apparel, the pink shirt, the cleats, the whole deal, and he's just like Messi crazy, even though, I don't know, somehow it happened. I don't know what happened.
It's just that effect that Leo has on the game and the world. You know, one of the reasons why we wanted to bring him to America was to inspire the next generation. That was my plan. You know, I obviously wanted to bring him for the player he is and the person he is. You know, I've played against him numerous times, actually twice, thankfully. But I've been a fan of him and watched him for many years. And I always had the plan to bring, you know, the greatest player to ever play the game, in my opinion, to our team. And luckily it happened.
Is he, in your opinion?
Yeah.
Is he the greatest player ever to play the game?
I think everyone's got their own opinions, but for me personally...
Well, yours have to mean more than others.
Well, you know... There's a lot of great players who have played the game over the years, but in my opinion, he's the perfect player.
And how do you convince him to come out? Did you say, look at how well everything worked out for me?
Well, I could actually come at him and with him with, obviously, my experience of moving to America and coming to a league that actually, at that time, wasn't established like it is now. You know, there was only 13 teams in the league. Now there's almost 30. And it's in a different position than what it was back then when I first came. But, you know, he's always loved Miami. He always loved the idea of the project of, you know, bringing the game even bigger in this country. And when you bring someone like that to America, people notice.
Yeah, well, sure. We certainly noticed when you showed up.
It's been very special.
Yeah. Your wife, most people I would presume know, is Victoria, who's from the Spice Girls. I mentioned in your introduction that she had a birthday party, and you put this together?
Big one, yeah, I did put it together.
Well, I think we have a video here of what happened at the birthday party. How long had it been since they sang together?
It's actually been like 12 years since they did the Olympics in the UK, but over 15 years since they actually were on the stage together. So obviously having them all there that night, and I didn't expect them to all get up on stage, but I had a whole video planned where me and my kids recreated the Mama video.
Oh, really?
So my son, who plays the guitar and sings, had a song and he sang Mama, and then all of a sudden, all the girls got up, and I was like... And I'm their biggest fan. You know, I tend to not tell my wife that because, you know, I tend to tell her that I fancied her but she was a Spice Girl. So, you know,
Yeah,
I love that about her.
Yeah,
so,
sure. I'm
yeah,
sure she
so,
loved the fact that you were on a team too,
yeah,
right?
I was, yeah. So I was a fan. But,
I loved your documentary. I mean, it was so good. If you have not seen it, it's like, I'm gonna be honest, I have almost zero interest in soccer. I mean, but I thought you guys, the two of you, and your story is incredible, and your chemistry and just how funny you guys are together was really delightful to watch. We got so caught up in it.
Yeah, well, you know, we've been together for 27 years in July. You know, we've been married for 25, so it's our 25th wedding anniversary in July. But with the documentary, you know, people wanted me to do it a long time ago, you know, when I retired, and I actually wasn't ready to kind of look back. I was ready to jump into something else on the business and with Miami. But then I had a plan about 7 years out, and I said, okay, for my 10-year anniversary of my retirement, I want to do the documentary. And that was really the plan. But then when we did it, you know, it was amazing. You know,
some of the footage that you're really one of your main cameramen is your dad, because he shot so much video of you, and we're going to show a little bit of that in a second. But what did when you watched the whole thing for the first time, how did it hit you?
Well, I planned to watch it on the morning, one morning early, just myself with a big screen and just, you know, to write notes, because it was a really early edit. When I watched it that morning, I really didn't like it. I didn't enjoy watching it. So I'd planned to then let my wife watch it for the first time at the premiere, but then obviously I had to then change that and get her to watch it that evening with me. And we sat in bed with an iPad and we watched 2 hours of rough edit, and like we got to the end of it and we looked at each other and we were so emotional. It was like we laughed, we cried, we were tired because we've done so much in that 27 years, you know, and that really was the moment where I fell in love with the documentary, because I knew that she loved it and that meant more to me.
And then we learned, one of the things that we learned in the documentary is that you are a neat freak to an extreme, a real extreme.
Yeah, I know.
And like after you're in bed watching this, do you say, okay, now we're gonna make the bed?
I'm a little bit OCD.
A little bit OCD.
A little bit.
Like, are you looking around right now and wanting to clean stuff up here?
A little bit. I mean, the carpet could have been vacuumed in a little straight. But in all honesty, you know, that is what I'm like. Victoria always jokes, because when we have our friends around for dinner or drinks, you know, I start turning like lights off and cleaning the candles and, you know, start
you
cleaning.
Trim the candle wicks.
I do.
Oh, insanity.
But it's not just the wicks, it's the outside of the glass as well, so I know.
It's not just the wicks, folks. David Beckham is here. His documentary on Netflix called Beckham. We'll be right back.
When my dad used to make me do corner after corner after corner after corner and put it in the exact same spot as he wanted it. And if I didn't, he'd kill me. He used to tell me, it's moments like corners at the end of the game that can create history.
Is this their moment? Beckham. In towards Schmeichel. It's come for Dwight York. Cleared. Giggs with a shot. Sheringham! With 30 seconds of added time.
That's David Beckham. His documentary is called Beckham. It's on Netflix. That's your dad, and for those who haven't seen it, he taped every one of your games.
Yep.
And he's a little bit of a maniac, yes?
I mean, I wouldn't call him a maniac,
I would.
personally.
I would.
But he was quite obsessed with me becoming a footballer. So, he taped everything, kept every newspaper cutting, everything. And my mum was the same. Mum was exactly the same.
Mom seemed, at least in the documentary, she seemed a little like maybe she wanted your dad to ease up a little bit.
Well, she's a protective mum.
Yeah.
You know, she took it out on a journalist once. She stayed in a hotel, and there was this one journalist that just kept on writing really not nice things about me and about my game. And she found out what room he was in, so she put every dinner, every drink on his room. And
Good.
yeah, protective mom.
Good. You went through a lot. I mean, I felt very sorry for you at parts of the documentary. I know that people go, oh, he's a millionaire. He's married to one of the Spice Girls. He's just incredibly handsome. And we shouldn't feel sorry for him, but I did feel sorry for you.
You know, I think one of the reasons, one of the things that came out of the documentary, to be honest, is in the US, I think people obviously knew that I came to the Galaxy. They knew my career. But what they didn't know was that and what happened throughout my career. And I think that surprised a lot of people. And I also, even in the UK, through that time, it was difficult, and you saw that it was difficult. But recently we were in a pub in London, and I came out, and on the windscreen of my car was a note, no name on it, just, "We're so sorry for the way we treated you." And it was like,
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so... I like that.
Signed everyone.
Signed everyone.
Do you ever talk to, like, Travis Kelce and say, hey, man, here's what you have to expect?
I think he can handle it.
You think he can handle it?
We know Taylor can definitely handle it.
One of the things your dad did was he would give you, and I think we have a photograph, he would give you Guinness and raw eggs to bulk you up.
Yep.
How old are you here?
I think I'm maybe 11 there.
Now, in the United States, he would be arrested for this.
Yeah. Well, the reason behind that was my hero as a kid was a player called Brian Robson. He used to play for the Manchester United team and also England. So he was my hero, and I read his book when I was a young kid, and he was like really small and skinny when he was as a kid. And what he did, he drank Guinness and raw eggs, and I got the idea. So I said to my dad, "Can I do it?" And as you see, that's what happens when you drink Guinness at 11.
And would you get drunk?
No, it was only like, I'd only have like half a glass.
Okay.
And then, a few raw eggs.
I know, it's so
I'm not
different.
sure it
That's one of the
works.
big differences between our countries, is that does not fly here at all. Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. No.
Did you see Tom Brady's roast the other night?
I did.
You did.
And
Would you ever do something like that?
No.
No, you wouldn't.
No, absolutely. The whole concept is, it's quite funny. It was very funny.
Yeah.
But, I know Tom well, and I must admit, I did fire him a message just to check he was okay.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because I was like, are you okay?
Is he okay?
He's more than okay, but yeah, it was hard to watch.
So next year we will not see you roasted.
No.
No. Okay.
Definitely not.
Well, it's great to see you.
Thank you.
I highly recommend the documentary. It's called Beckham. It's on Netflix now. Mr. David Beckham, everybody. We'll be back with Chris Perfetti.